Hi, and welcome to video 34 in my FlyLady series. FlyLady is the FlyLady system is a way to better manage your house and your personal life. And if you haven't seen my videos, my previous videos, please click the playlist below. You want to watch them in order. It takes you through the baby steps, which become your habits and routines, which are the foundation for all of this. This video is going to be about our basic weekly plan. And so this is something that you want to incorporate once you feel you have really got your routines down. The baby steps are the most important thing, where we want to make sure that we are getting those daily to-dos done. And then once you have a handle on that, you can start adding in these other components. So the basic weekly plan is when to do various things. I would suggest that you get a piece of paper and you write this out and you add it to your control journal. There's a lot of stuff to remember with FlyLady. I'll show you my control journal at some point, but I think that it's important to see, how she puts the system together first. And then, of course, you can change it once you've got the system down. My control journal is different than it was when I first started. And when I first started, I just went ahead and did what the FlyLady suggested. Once I got it all down, then I started, changing it for my own, for what I needed. So the basic weekly plan is different from the home blessing hour. Home blessing hour is a surface level clean. The basic weekly plan is what to do each day of the week. This will be different for every person because we all have different needs and different lifestyles. But I will give you FlyLady's, I will give you her suggestion, what she suggests that you do, and then I'll talk about what I do. So I'm just pulling out my control journal actually, because I don't ever want to have to remember all of this stuff, so I have it all written down for myself. So FlyLady suggests that on Monday you are going to do, or what she does is her weekly home blessing hour. If you're not sure what that is, then go back to my last video, because that's what that was about. Tuesday, she calls her free day. And so that means that it's actually not a free day because I'm looking at her plan, but what she does on Tuesday is she waters and fertilizes her plants, and she spends 15 minutes in her current zone. So I'm just going to put that down because that's what she has. Water, fertilize plants. And if you do have plants in your house, this is a great way to ensure that at least they get some care and they don't, die. And then 15 minutes in zone. Now, I'm going to write this out and then I'm going to talk about, kind of how I've altered it. I should just do that instead of getting sidetracked. Wednesday, FlyLady suggests that you do zone cleaning. She has a list. I'm just going to write it out. Yeah. So she says maybe I'll do little bullet points. Finish zone cleaning. The next thing she has you do is make sure your refrigerator is clean. And she has write thank you notes. Do your menu and your grocery list. And make sure that you've balanced your checkbook. Thursday, she has as her grocery and errand day. So you're going to do your grocery shopping and any other errands that you have. So you may want to make a list here of what you need to get done. And the idea is that it's all grouped together in one day to save gas, to save time. You know, you're out and you get everything done. She suggests errands like, you know, if you need to go to the library, you need to go to the post office, if you need to buy a gift for somebody, something like that. Friday is her paperwork and miscellaneous day. So she has just quite a few things on this day. This should be like, she says, a date night kind of day. Date night day. She says get food from the freezer for next week. I don't know that that would apply to a whole lot of people. Maybe I'm wrong with that. I only have one freezer and it's in my refrigerator. So I'm not going to add that on here, but that's what she says. She says to file papers, and I like to just call that paperwork. And then she has write letters and cards. And she has clean out your purse. She has pet care. So if you have to give your kids, your pets, any kind of flea or tick medication or anything like that. She has mend clothes, polish shoes, you know, so that we're ready for the next week. And then clean out car. She doesn't, and she says check fluids, but I'm pretty sure she also says get gas on this day. So I'm running out of room here on my little whiteboard, but basically what she has for Saturday is family fun day. So on that day, you're just supposed to do something fun with your family. On Sunday, she has renew your spirit day, and you're just supposed to relax and do some nice pampering for yourself. I don't know, I think you can see that. Now I'm going to go through and I'm going to tell you what I do on what day, because I don't do all of this stuff and I don't necessarily do it on these days. So as I told you before, and if I were you, first starting out, I would write all of this out onto onto a piece of paper and add it to your control journal. That's what I did when I started, and then I just started changing it as I needed to. So on Monday, she does the weekly home blessing hour. I told you in my last video on the weekly home blessing hour that I break that up into one task a day, just because I can't do it all at once at this point. When I worked full-time and I wasn't pregnant, I did do it all at once. I did it all on Sunday. But she has you do this on Monday, or she does this on Monday. So for me, I break it up one task a day. I don't have I don't have any plants that I need to water or fertilize anymore in the house. I've learned my lesson, and it's just something that I just, that's one less thing I have to take care of. My 3 elderly special needs dogs and my husband and myself are enough at this point. Adding a baby, I don't need a house plant, but so I don't do this. I actually have on my daily routine to do 15 minutes in my zone each day, and I have that on there until I'm just done with all of my zone cleaning. So I don't just do zone cleaning 2 days a week. Sometimes I get it all done in one day if I have help and I feel good and I feel like I can do it. Otherwise, one of the things that I did is I just added 15 minutes of zone cleaning to my daily routine. That way I'm doing deep cleaning for 15 minutes a day. Wednesday, so that kind of takes care of this. I clean out so mine is a little bit different. My grocery and errand day is on Monday. and I do keep that group together. On Mondays, I go grocery shopping, I run any errands I have to, and I get gas in my car. And I get a car wash that day if I'm going to do that. So I do clean out my refrigerator, but I do that over the weekend. I do that on Sunday. So let me just kind of mark this. This is, I'm going to put here, this is a daily thing that I do, the weekly home blessing. I don't do that. Zone cleaning is like a daily thing that I do. And I clean out my refrigerator on Sunday because Sunday is the day that I make my menu and my grocery list for the week. Writing thank you notes, I don't really have that many thank you notes to write, and so that's not necessarily something I do weekly. Balancing my checkbook, I tend to do this daily. My husband and I don't spend a whole lot of money every day, but even when we did spend a lot more money every day, you know, he would go out to lunch every day. I would add that to the checkbook just every night before I went to bed. So to me, this is like a daily thing to keep track of because I didn't have enough, I've never had enough money where I could just let it go for the week. Like I need to know on a daily basis. Grocery shopping and errands, I like to do that on Monday. Date night, you know, I guess is Friday night. I should do something more special for my husband, but I don't really necessarily have a date night with my husband. Maybe that will change once we have our baby. Filing papers and paperwork. So this is something that I tend to do daily, but when I do my planning for the week, I tend to do that on Saturday. So if I have like papers, like bills that come in the mail, I tend to take care of that stuff on a daily basis. I don't like it to build up. But when I do like my desk day where I sit down and I look at my calendar and I do my planner and all of that, I do that on a Saturday. Write letters and cards, I do that as I need to. I tend to clean out my purse whenever I go out and I find that I'm putting a lot of things in there. But if I don't, then Friday would be the day. I do it at the end of the week. Pet care for me is on a daily basis. So I'm not giving them well, I am giving them medication on a daily basis, but if it's like once a month type of thing, then I just have that written on my calendar. Mending clothes and polishing shoes. This was something that I tended to do on Saturday. So if I had to sew something or had to buff up the shoes, it would be a Saturday. Clean out the car and get gas. This is something that I do on a Monday because that's part of my errand day. If I put something in the car, I bring it back out of the car. It's the same principle with the house. If you pull it out, you have to put it away. So with my car, if I take a water bottle with me, I always take it out of the car with me. I don't like a lot of clutter in my car. I have a super tiny car. There's not room for clutter. Saturday and Sunday, I don't do anything other than what I've set up here. So I shouldn't say I don't do anything because I do a couple things, but they're not difficult, right? So that's how I break up the basic weekly plan. I don't necessarily do all the things that she does, and I certainly don't do them on those days. I do them on the days that work for me. I like to clean out my refrigerator over the weekend and do my grocery shopping on Monday. That way, if I have any kind of excess trash, it gets taken out with the trash on Tuesday. I just try to be a little strategic about it. So you have to find what works for you. This looks busy and like a lot of things, but if you break it down, you probably don't need to do all of these things every single day or every single week, thank you notes and that kind of thing. But just having it on your radar, having it written down in your control journal can be helpful to remind you if you do need to do these things. I think she does there is something to, grouping your errands when you go outside. If you're getting gas every week, you're probably not going to run out of gas. If you're cleaning out your car every week, it's probably not going to get very dirty. If you're, sitting down and having desk time every week where you pay your bills and, you look at your planner or your calendar, you're probably not going to let too many things fall through the cracks. So the idea is to do a little bit every day and maintain. That's the whole heart of the FlyLady system, is doing a little bit every day to maintain it. That's it. That way you never have to do like this big massive spring cleaning, because you're doing a little bit every day to maintain it. There is nothing big and massive to clean. You know, it's all about little pieces every day that help you to stay on track. So I hope that this was helpful. In fact, why don't I just give you a quick glance. This is one page of my control journal. And this is actually my weekly home blessing hour plus my weekly plan together. I've combined them. Like I said, once you have the system down, you can change it to your needs. So this is what I go by every week. And you can see some of my wet erase marker there. So this is a combination of the weekly home blessing hour and the basic weekly plan of what I do. So on Monday, empty all my trash, grocery shop, errands, and gas. Tuesday, polish the mirrors and the sliding glass door, and I dust. Wednesday, vacuum and mop upstairs. Thursday, vacuum and mop upstairs. Friday, change the sheets and my towels, and I usually change the towels twice a week, but I'll run them together here. And then planner, paperwork stuff. Saturday, I clean and wipe out my fridge, and I just double check my pantry to make sure that, you know, to just kind of organize it and put it all sort of together. And then Sunday, I meal plan and I make my grocery list. So this is what I've condensed it down to from the weekly home blessing hour and the basic weekly plan. I have really condensed it into what actually makes sense for me in my house and how I operate. So hopefully this is giving you an idea. My control journal is very basic at this point. And I can even kind of, well, I hesitate to show you. This is like what my basic routine is for the day. I've broken it down like this far. So I'll show you that when I show you my control journal. And here's just a glance at some of my, I did zone cleaning today. So here's just a glance at some of my zone cleaning lists. But again, I will show you that later. So make it work for you. I suggest that you start with her system, how it is, and then adjust as you go along. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.